welcome to the first episode of these short films with myself, Stuart the Wildman Mabbott,
and myself, William Manclough, photographer.
And most people will know I am a wildlife sound recordist. Now, our aim in these films is to get you guys out here enjoying the countryside, the environment, as much as we do.
Yep, trying to use one of your senses, maybe your sight, maybe your hearing, maybe smell, maybe touch. It's one of 5 senses, isn't it, Stuart?
Yeah, there's 5 main senses. Pick one of them and actively go out there, engage that sense, and you will enjoy a microcosm of...
You'd be amazed what you'll hear. I mean, just going out and listening, and all the different birds you'll hear. It's amazing. And
we want to get you out into local nature reserves. So these films are hopefully showcasing local nature reserves, and we will hopefully travel around the country doing more of them.
Yes, starting here in Stratfield Brake, in just north of Oxford. We've also going to do Lye Valley as well, which is just in the centre of Oxford. Whereabouts else are we?
We're going to go to the Global Retreat Centre in Newnham Courtney. We're going to master Oxfordshire, and then we're going to expand from there.
Yes, looking forward to it.
So enjoy the rest of this film. Okay, we've moved down towards the golf course now, and the Lye Valley historically is a part of an old historic fen, and that runs all the way down towards Abingdon, but it's just individual pockets made up now. When you look on a map, you see where the old corridor was. But we're now stood next to a stream, as you can hear, and this to me is a gem of a place for sound recording.
What do you actually look to record when you're out and about? Is that do you go specifically going out looking for a particular sound, or is it like myself with photography, where I will have a particular subject that I want to take a photo of, but then just try and capture anything that I see on the way?
I tend to go with an open mind, because say I'm going out bird watching, nothing to do with sound. If I want to see a specific bird, everything that moves, my mind is going to say it's that bird. So if I go out there trying to record a specific sound, I'm going to be filtering out the potentially interesting stuff. So my mind is always open, because like back at the first little video here, we said about you concentrating on touching the trees, and you forget the sense of sound, because you then forget all the sound of the road. Whereas if I'm focusing on if I'm focusing on one specific sound, I'm filtering out all the other stuff. So it's sort of like to see, hear, all these senses, to get an accurate overall soundscape, as it were. Mm-hmm. You sort of need to be listening at everything and then finding the interesting stuff. If you're focusing on... Okay, it's a bit breezy at this section. We're now at the watery bit. It's a complex of man-made lakes, and when we came here in January time, it was windy like it is now, because you can hear the wind buffeting this microphone. But it was very wet, so we couldn't actually walk any further.
Yeah, the path in front of us here was under... I mean, if you had wellies on, you'd be fine, but neither of us had wellies on that day. It would probably been about a couple of inches of water, I think, at the time. But now it's turned tiny bit muddy, but you can definitely walk through here with your walking boots on, can't you?
Yeah, it's... I mean, the lake here had overflowed. It burst its banks back then. But this section, there's plenty to see. There's willow trees, and there's different sedges and brambles. There's plenty of birds around. We've heard plenty of bullfinches.
Loads of bullfinches, yeah.
But we want to focus on touch on this section. Now you've picked up this here. Birds are, because we're recording this in April, and birds are actually using this themselves. It's moss, and it's, you look at it and you think it's going to be slimy, but that's actually really dry, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's dried out ever since I picked it up. So when I first got it, it was ever so slightly damp, but it's almost like a little bit of carpet, isn't it? A bit of rug.
very much. Welcome to another episode of these audio-visual films with myself, Stuart Mabbott.
And myself, William Manklow.
And today we're in Lye Valley Nature Reserve, heading down to Marsh Park. And we both got a childhood connection with this site.
We have, yeah. I used to live about maybe 400 yards in that direction, so I spent a lot of my time in my childhood of being down here and just looking around and being surrounded by nature, I suppose.
And we're here now. And again, this film is about you going out there into places like this and using your eyes, ears, all your senses to actually engage better with the environment around you.
Indeed. I mean, right now it's a beautiful sunny April day, or nearly a May day, isn't it?
Nearly.
And we've already seen and heard many different sights and sounds just walking down here. So
we actually want you to go out there and actively engage your senses. Some people say they don't need to actually do things like we're doing here because the wildlife is all around them. It may be all around you, but are you engaging with it?